Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is our first virtual event, so we're wonderful with taking care of our seniors. We're wonderful throwing parties. Just bear with us for the first time we're doing this, but I'm sure it's going to be awesome. I'm Nikki O'Brien. I've been with the sales director for the Windsor of Palm Coast for 8 years now. And during that time, we've had wonderful events, and we've been such a big part of our community. And in the nature of COVID, we still wanted to continue to do so. So we find that information is powerful, which is why we wanted to host this event, to be able to arm everybody with all the knowledge they need to protect their loved ones, seniors, from any scams and frauds that are happening, especially in the climate that we're in now. A little bit about the Windsor. Like I said, I've been here for 8 years. We have 10 properties in the state of Florida, and I know you can't all be here to experience it right now, but when you walk into one of our communities, you just feel instantly comfortable and at home. It's very elegant, but you still feel very comfortable. We have the most wonderful staff, and when Tim Buchanan designed our properties, he really thought about the entire person he was caring for, physical, mental, and spiritual. So our buildings are top of the line, but what sets us apart is truly the people that work here. I work with some of the most fantastic people in the entire world, and I feel so lucky that I get to do so every day. Again, I'm really sorry that everybody can't be here today, but if anyone would like a visual tour, I know all the sales directors in the state, we're getting awesome with our selfie sticks and showing everybody around. So we would love to have you have a little bit of a better understanding of what we do for our communities. As I said, one of our goals here at Legend Senior Living is we always want to be a resource and a guide to our local community. Knowledge is power, and it's the first step in protecting ourselves. Therefore, who better to teach us about how to take care of ourselves than the brave men serving at our Flagler Sheriff's Department. It is my honor to introduce Sheriff Rick Staly. He has been protecting and serving his community in law enforcement for over 45 years, and he has been the sheriff for Flagler County since 2016. Prior to that, he was the undersheriff in Orange County. Even virtually, I always feel safer when I see him walk into a room. So with that, I am very proud to present our Sheriff, Staly.
Well, thank you, Nikki, and certainly is a new current environment that we're in. We normally do these presentations in person, and I try to get to many of them and kick them off for Commander Lutz, but at least temporarily, we have this new world that we're living in, but we really appreciate the Windsor and Legend Senior Living partnering with us so that we can continue our community programs, even if they are in a virtual format, because it's important to keep the community informed about, in this case today, about scammers and frauds, because they don't quit just because there's a pandemic. In fact, Broward County Sheriff's Office just yesterday investigated a scam over a stimulus check. And just less than a week ago, we in Flagler County investigated a scam involving possible employment with an antiques dealer. But the victim was told to go get $6,000 in prepaid cards and then send the code and the information to this scammer, who of course was out of country. And unfortunately, it didn't dawn on her that this was a scam until after she did that. And then she realized something was wrong and then called us. So that's why these classes are so important, and we really appreciate you guys hosting this with Commander Lutz, because, like I said earlier, scammers keep going. They just change their tactics, and of course, they change all the time, and I don't want to take Commander Lutz's thunder away from his presentation. So to those that are listening and online with us through Zoom, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to learn a little on how these frauds and scams operate and how you can protect yourself. So have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Sheriff. Now, I'm sure this virtual platform might be new to some people, so just a couple housekeeping tips. If you take your mouse and you come to the bottom of the screen, you can ask your questions. There's a chat box where you can talk, and we can just kind of get interactive like that. It's more fun the more we all get involved, so we appreciate any participation that we can have. And I have a super awesome gift bag for the winner. Just some great stuff to help keep us protected and safe during this time. So we're going to choose that at random at the end of the event with these emails that we have signed up. Kevin, the voice, is our regional director for the state of Florida, and he is here to keep us all in line for both technical and moral support. So we appreciate you being here, Kevin. Thank you. If you want to ask baskets, okay. And then the next man needs no introduction at all. Commander Lutz is fabulous. Even if you don't know him at all, you're going to feel like he's an old friend after just hanging in his presence for 5 minutes. He has been a retired NYPD detective and has been in law enforcement for 37 years. He is now on the Investigative Service Division, Homeland Security Crime Prevention Unit, and he's here to help educate our community and keep us all safe and sound. He's smart, he's funny, he's an incredible resource, and today he's going to teach us all about fraud and scam prevention. So, Commander Lutz, take it away.
Thank you, Nikki. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me do
this.
Everybody out there, thank you very much for attending. I appreciate your being here. Throughout the presentation, there will be some polls, so some poll questions. Please interact and answer them so we can get some information. We like to have everybody be involved, because solving this problem, which this country has, and it's getting bad, is education. Because when we get down to it, a lot of this is from out of the country. We're not going to be sending a detective to Nigeria because you got scammed out of $400. That's not going to happen. So education is the best form of defense against this. So let's get going right now, and let's talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room, COVID-19. All right? Obviously, this is out. We got us inside. That's why we're doing the Zoom presentation right now. But think about it. Emails, calls, people calling up now about investing in the COVID-19 vaccine. Well, they're working on it now. All the labs are working on it. They're not going to ask you to donate $1,000 so you can earn a lot of money with the vaccine. All right, it's happening behind the scenes. There's, I think, hundreds of companies and doctors working on that. But emails are going out about investing in a company that's going to solve the COVID-19 practice, the virus, sorry. So please, you have to do your homework. If somebody's asking you for money, don't just write a check. This is one of the big problems. Everything that's going on with COVID-19, especially on your computer, on your phone, think twice about doing anything with it. Do your research, ask opinions. Do not just go right back to these people and donate money. There have been people, not here in Flagler, but in other places, showing up at somebody's door as the CDC. And they want to come in and they're going to give you a test of the virus. Well, they're not from the CDC, and CDC is not going door to door to take swabs to find out if you have the virus. So please be careful. You're letting people, imposters, into your home, and they're casing your home, and then they're going to work on you about giving them money and things of that nature. So please be very, very skeptical if somebody shows up at the door that wants entry, has something to do with this virus, okay? There's other ways of reporting it. If something happens and you think you've been defrauded or somebody's pressuring you to give you money, call your local sheriff's office, police department, get a deputy out there, show him the paperwork, show him the emails, show him this stuff, and he will advise you, or she will advise you that it most likely is a scam. But if you think someone is scamming you, or you have a website, you can report it to the Department of Justice. Here's the website. You can go online for the Department of Justice, and then they can, you want to report it, and they can do it federally and maybe track down these bad guys, so to speak, if a lot of these things coming up from across the country. You can also call the FBI, has their own thing for computer crimes, which this falls under. It's the IC3 complaint center. So you can go to them and also file a complaint. But first, make a complaint with your local law enforcement agency. And then you can go into the FBI and the DOJ, and then maybe they can track where this is coming from, if it's out of the country or across the country. All right? Some things, some numbers you should know. AARP is watching this carefully. Some of this information, I did a webinar with the AARP about information that's going across the country. You can report frauds, or you have questions, you can call that number, go online at that email. Also, to report frauds, the National Center of Disaster for Fraud Hotline, a lot of that is because of like hurricanes, and you want to do frauds and that. Well, they've opened it up to coronavirus, so you can make a complaint there. Be careful about donating to charities. A lot of charities are coming out asking for money because of the virus. Their contributions are down. But charities are going to hit you up for it. But guess what? A lot of them are not legitimate. So be careful. You can contact the charitynavigator.org to see if the charity that you may be contributing to is legit. We don't want to give money to the bad guy. We want the money to go to the people who can use it.
Hey, Commander.
Yes.
I have a question from the group. It's Kevin.
Sure.
We see a lot of charitable donations on TV. Do you see a lot of those phone calls directly to consumers is the question.
Some of these phone calls coming to consumers, yes, and a lot of them are not legitimate. So if you get a phone call, an email, things like that, don't automatically call back that number, because that number could be to what we call a burner phone of somebody that's going to answer and say whatever charity it is, but it's really a bad guy in another country, and you're going to give them all your banking information or send them a check or give them the routing number to your checks and things of that nature. Be very careful. Do your research. Make sure that, look into it. Make sure that the charity is legit before you make that call or you donate any money, especially online. Okay, I hope that answers the question. Very good question. Thank you. Medicare hotline. Just make sure if you have anything issue with your Medicare, just make sure you contact Medicare. Look up the numbers. Anything that you want to do here, look up the numbers. Make sure the numbers are legit. If they send you a number or email you a number or a website, be very, very careful. A lot of these websites look exactly like the ones that aren't. It's just a little off. And with technology today, it's very difficult to decipher which is good and which is bad. So do your research. Never contact the number that they give you unless your research says it's right. And then if you want to contribute, it's legit, be my guest. Let's get to the main reason why we're here is scams. Of course, COVID-19 is doing it with that thing. Anything that pops up, you're going to get scams. But there's a lot of scams that happen every day, 24/7, 365. And unfortunately, they're targeting seniors. And that's why I want to get the word out to seniors. As we get older, our walls start coming down and we become more trusting. And that's a problem. And we're going to go into a lot of different things of what kind of scams and why, but let's get right into it. Have anybody got a letter that said you won the lotto from a foreign country? Okay, this goes out to a lot of people. And who does not want $4 million or $20 million? I do. Who doesn't? But foreign lotteries, people will go out and then they don't realize they're calling a foreign country, and then what they're going to ask for is the taxes on the money before they release it. You're going to send them money, they're going to need more taxes. You're going to send them money. At some point, you're going to realize that you're just sending them money and you're not getting any money in return. Mm-hmm. And did you actually know that it's actually illegal for an American citizen to enter into a foreign lottery, right? The FBI is not going to come knocking down your door, but It is illegal. Okay, so be very, very careful of foreign lotteries. And then how do you actually win a lottery that you never entered? Think about it. We have to start thinking about these things. If it's too good to be true, it usually is.
Commander, I have another quick question from the group on the topic of COVID. Have you seen any frauds involving stimulus checks?
Yes, there's some stimulus checks going out there. Be very careful. Make sure that you've gotten your stimulus check, but that you'll get, there's phone calls and letters and things of that nature, and people are trying to, that did not get it automatically put in their account, where they're going to get a check, just like taxes. It's coming from the IRS, the same thing. People are applying for them, and they're using your information to get your stimulus check. All right, so be very careful. If you haven't gotten it, follow up with the IRS. Try to make sure that you get your what's coming to you. But yes, they're trying to go after stimulus checks. Like anything else, whatever is the soup of the day, COVID, stimulus checks, the bad guys are going after it. So stay on top of it. Because if you never have gotten it, and maybe somebody has gotten it fraudulently, and then you have to contact them, file a police report, because they won't do anything without a police report and a case number, and then go after them, and hopefully you can get it reissued to you. But it should have come in automatically to most people in the bank if you filed your taxes electronically, and they have your bank information. It should have gone directly into it. So double check and make sure that you've gotten it. And people are calling up, you know, if you get a phone call that you didn't get it, I can help you get it. Be very leery of that. Be very careful. Hope that answers your question. Good question. Inheritance. You are Mr. Smith, John Smith. That's great. You just possibly inherited $5 million from a late Mr. Smith. Are you this Mr. Smith? Well, I don't know. Well, no one's claimed it yet. Send us your information, your name, date of birth, social security number, and information, and we'll have it on file. So when nobody claims it, then you can get it. Totally fraudulent. It's not that uncle that you thought you had. It's just a way to get your money. Be very careful. And in like this letter, it's coming from the Nigerian bank. Obviously, that's fraudulent. But people just read, especially if money's tight and you see a chance to get some money, you do what you can. Do not give anybody your social security number, personal information, please. But things like this are happening. Sending information. We can save you money on your bills or on your gas and electric and things of that nature. But you just got to send back us all your information. We'll do the research and we can save you money. But you're going to send them bank information and social security numbers, next of kin, all this information, date of birth. And this is an out of country. A lot of it comes from out of the country. You can see from the top, it's coming from Spain. How is someone from Spain going to be helping you in your electric company? They're not. All right, so we have to be smarter and think about these things before we fill this stuff out. Might get a letter from the FBI or official government agency that some information happened over your computer. You've committed a crime. We're going to come and get you. You just have to send us this amount of money. You're going to call their number, which is a fraudulent number, and you're going to send them money, and this will just magically go away. That doesn't happen. Okay, so you have to be careful, especially because they can print this stuff up very easily.
This is good for me. I'm going to be a goner when I will.
Well, if you get anything like that, please call me and I'll take care of it, please. But this goes out to everybody. They mass produce these things and send it out. Look at the Reader's Digest and look at all the things on the bottom that are sponsors. They can just get this off the internet, put it on a piece of paper, and it looks real. So be very, very careful. You've won a contest and you got to call this number, talk to this person who will answer that number, by the way. And guess what? You have to give them some mandatory monies and you can get $500,000.
Hey, Commander, I want to, if it's okay with you, I'd like to throw up a poll on the screen for everyone attending.
Excellent. Go right ahead.
All right, here we go. Just a quick one. Have you guys received letters like this in the mail? similar to these?
It may not be these, but maybe different ones, but like it.
About 5 more seconds here. I apologize if I cut anybody off. I'm going to go ahead and end the polling right now. And I'm going to share the results with you guys.
See?
61% of this group has received a letter like similar to these. That's a big number.
That's a very big number. Very big number.
Yeah.
2/3, close to 2/3 have received that.
Yeah.
So be very, very careful when you get things like this in the mail. Be very skeptical. Very skeptical. Okay, let's move on. Scammers. For those of you that are out there that have been in the military, first of all, thank you very much for your service. This country appreciates it, as I do, and I know everybody else does too. For those of you that are in the military and you have health care called TRICARE, this happened in Jacksonville, that people were calling up members that had TRICARE, and from this number that's up there, the 516 number, and said, we need your personal information, something happened, we need to do this, we want to protect your sensitive information, but you call that number back and you're giving them your sensitive information. Okay, that was not from TRICARE. TRICARE found out about it, put out alerts and alarms. So be very careful if you get numbers like that. Always call the company to make sure that it's correct. And don't call the number that they give you. Call your TRICARE. If you have a card with the number on it, you call that number and talk to them and alert them that this is happening, and they will get the information out to other people. So be very, very careful. So they're going after healthcare people too. So be very, very careful. Okay, some other scams that have been out there forever. How many people out there, we're not going to take a poll, like to do jury duty? Yeah, I thought so. Okay, jury duty. They will contact you. You know, it's a misdemeanor not to show up for jury duty. It's a crime. Have you ever heard of anybody being arrested for not going to jury duty? I haven't. So remember that. But really, it's an honor. I've had to serve on a jury. I'm sure a lot of you had to. They contact you. They said, Mr. Smith, you didn't show up for jury duty. Oh my God, I never got a notice. Well, are you the Mr. Smith that didn't show up? Yeah, give me your information. And you give them your name, your social security number, date of birth. Yep, you didn't show up. I'm going to forgive you this time. I'm going to put you back in the pool. And please answer next time. Oh, thank you. And you didn't even realize it, and you gave them all your personal information. Okay? Be very, very careful of things like this. Anytime anybody over the phone, you really don't know who you're talking to, do not give personal information. Very important. Some of you have sold items and furniture and things on things like Craigslist, a list, and SwipSwap. Be very careful, because I've had neighbors that have done it. And I've bought things over the internet, but be very, very careful. So you send out, I want to send this, I'm going to sell my bedroom set for $1,000. That's great. The first call you're going to get, or back on the internet, is yes, I want that furniture. They're going to send you $1,500 right away. You get that check, you deposit it in your account. They say the $1,000 is for the furniture. Keep an extra $200 for the problem. Please contact John Smith. He's my mover. Send him $400. He's going to come and pick up the furniture. You send the $400. Guess what? With the laser printers and things that are happening now, the banks don't even know these checks are fraudulent. It goes to the original bank. They send it back after a bunch of days that it's a false check. It's bogus. Then your bank takes the $1,500 back out of your account, and you've already mailed another $400 to your bank account now that you thought was down $1,900. Be very, very careful. Anybody aren't they going to ask you to lower the price? Wouldn't that you do?
Yes.
Exactly. Anybody's going to send you more money, be very skeptical. I had a neighbor down the street selling shoes, nice shoes. First 3 contacts she got wants to send her more money, send her this, send her this. She called me up. I said, they're all scams. All scams. So be very, very, very careful when you're selling stuff online. And if you're going to meet anybody online, bring a friend, preferably somebody that's big, large, has a concealed weapons permit, because robberies have happened when you're going to go there with a lot of cash. Okay? Be very, very careful. Do your homework. Phone scams. How many people out there are getting 1,000 calls on your cell phone or your home phone? You know, and you don't want to pick it up. False numbers. A lot of the numbers are coming from your area code because they're generated by computers. And you're more likely to pick up a phone call from your own area code because you think you might know the people. All computer generated. How many have gotten out there, since we're talking a lot to seniors here, that have their grandchild is in trouble, has been arrested, and your little Johnny went away for spring break and went to Mexico. And guess what? Now he's been arrested. So grandma, help me. And it's always the grandson and grandma, because all your grandmothers out there, what are you going to do when little Johnny's in trouble? You're running to the Western Union to mail that money. Yeah. Grandpa is probably going to say, let his butt sit in jail for a little while to learn a lesson, but be very careful. Always double check, because they're always going to say, don't tell mom and dad. Always tell mom and dad. Where's little Johnny? He's probably sitting on the couch playing video games because he got back from that trip. Please do your research. And if a friend tells you that, stop them. Okay? Because once that check goes out in Western Union, very difficult to get back. And guess what? It's never going to be enough money. Because once you send that first check, they're going to ask for more. Be very careful.
Hey, Commander, quick question from the group.
Right ahead.
Does the do not call list work? Does it actually help stop some of these calls?
No. And I'm going to tell you why. The do not call list helps, but if this is an illegitimate con, they're not paying attention to the no call list. They're already committing a crime.
Right.
So call lists go to most legitimate companies that are trying to, get you to buy something or something online, or, your car warranty is out. I want to buy a car. A lot of those are legitimate companies, but they're just calling up trying to get you to buy their product. So if I'm trying to con you out of $500 or $1,500, what do they care about a no call list? Doesn't happen. So be very careful.
One other question along the same lines is, what about different groups from, I guess I have had these myself actually, from police groups, quote unquote, calling and asking for donations to support families who died in the line of duty. Tell us about those.
Yes. Most of those, if not all of them, are cons. They're scams. Police department, police agencies are not going to call you up and ask for money. Now, in your local area, if a deputy unfortunately gets killed in the line of duty or severely hurt and people want to raise money, then the agency will tell you in a press release, when they go out on the news, they'll tell you websites and how to donate. Or you can call that agency and say, how can I donate to, Officer Smith's family? And then they'll give you the proper way to do it, okay? Some agencies are associated with nonprofits. That's a different story. Here in Florida, we have a thing called the Sheriff's Youth Ranch, where each sheriff's office contributes and helps run it. And what they do is they get children both boys and girls, in their area and send them to a youth camp to give them a week away, let them learn and do a lot of different things. And that's sponsored by donations and things like that. And we here in the sheriff's office, a lot of us donate out of our check every week for things of that nature. So those are legitimate. They may call up and look for money. But again, even with those, do your research. Make sure the phone number that they're calling, because people can hijack that and try to get money. But that's an excellent question. So be very careful when people call.
I have about 4 other great questions. We can either take them now or we can wait till the end. Which would you prefer?
If it's about the same thing right here, let's try to run through them real quick, or
Okay.
at least a couple of them.
So I've heard this one where you get a call and it's like, and the question says hi as Gregory there. I get hi as Charles. Is this Charles? I literally get that call probably once every few weeks. Is
Okay.
Charles there? No. So you know anything about that one? Where they use
No, that's just, if Charles there, then a lot of those, they're going to just try to get you to talk.
Yep.
And once you get talking, you'll be surprised what you can say. These guys are very good. If Charles doesn't live here, click, hang up,
Perfect.
done.
Okay.
No. And that, just before we go to the next question, that comes up with the next bullet point we're talking about here. Someone calls up and you pick up the phone and they say, hi, this is Charles. Can you hear me? And you say, yes. Well, they're recording your voice. And then you said yes. And then all of a sudden you're going to be getting bills in the mail, for a small amount of money, for $19, $20, $18, $8. And you don't notice it because it's such a small amount. We're going to get into a lot of that a little bit later. But when you realize that this is a mistake and you contact those people and they say, well, isn't this your voice? And you said yes, and it's your voice because they recorded it. If they say, can you hear me now? You say, who is this? What is your name? And can you hear me? Can you hear me? Click. Or say no. Obviously, you've heard them. Don't say yes over the phone, especially if you don't know who you're talking to. All right, want to grab another quick question?
Yeah, absolutely. I've got 3 more. All simple.
These are great questions. So good work.
Is there a reverse phone lookup site you recommend that will likely tell you it's a scam?
No. Write down the number and just Google it. Okay. If it's a scam, it'll come up that it's a scam because people are putting that in all the time. But a lot of these calls are being generated by a computer. That's why you can get a call on your cell phone and it's your own phone number. Mm. People have gotten that. Mm. And that's generated by the computer, so that's not going to help. But if you're not sure, write down the number and just Google it. And if it's been associated with a scam, it'll pop up.
Okay. 2 more. One might refer back actually to an earlier slide. If someone has a concern, this question comes from the Manatee County. If they had a concern about possible scams in that area, can you remind us the agency they would want to reach out to?
The Manatee County Sheriff's Office, or if they live in a city that has a police department. Like here in Flagler County, we have Bunnell Police Department and Flagler Beach Police Department and the Sheriff's Office. Some other counties have a lot of police agencies. Whatever covers your area, call them up and talk to their community person, or just talk to them generally, and they may give you somebody that is familiar with what's going on there, their community outreach person. And you can even call the Sheriff's Office, because the Sheriff's Office has jurisdiction over the whole county also. So law enforcement agencies in that area, they're all going to be general, like I'm saying, but there are always some that are specific to that area.
Gotcha. Okay. And then last one,
and then we'll move on.
Are there any legitimate calls you would get for your computer being infected?
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm not
Hold
sure
on to that question because I'm going to highlight that on an upcoming slide. So let's hold that one because no, it's a scam. Okay. Because if you look down, we're talking about that, the Microsoft scam. Let's just get the Microsoft scam right there. You'll get a call from someone that's from Microsoft, and he's going to have a heavy Indian accent. All right. Surprisingly, not surprisingly, but where does Microsoft outsource their troubleshooting? India is where their call center is. So it's kind of brilliant that they have someone calling with an Indian accent because you're going to expect that. Microsoft, just like Social Security Administration, the IRS, does not have an outgoing phone service. So if you're getting phone calls from them, it's automatically a fraud scam. It's automatically a scam, okay? If you call them They may ask you for personal information, somebody that, you know, that they have already to verify it's you. Then if you want them to go on your computer and, you know, help fix it, different story. You call them. They are not going to call you, and it's going to happen. And all of a sudden they take over your computer and they go through everything. And guess what? They're downloading everything on your computer. Bank account numbers, banks, passwords, everything that you use, you've just been infected by a virus. And everything that you go on that gets sent right to them. So be very careful. Anybody from Microsoft, anybody from the Social Security Administration, IRS that calls you direct is a scam, period. And please pass the word. Let your friends know that aren't on this call. Let them know, because it's happening, fortunately. Okay? Man, these are great questions. Thank you all. Let's move on. Debt collectors. You may get a thing in there that you owe $100. Well, you're going to immediately send a check. Why? Because you don't want to hurt your credit. Make sure that you owe that money. Most of these things that are here, I've gotten those calls. It doesn't matter between age and phone. It doesn't matter. I've gotten them. Everybody gets them. Debt collectors, here, you owe $100. Really? That's great. You get that letter, you're going to mail it off real quick because you don't want to hurt your credit. And it's not going to be for a large amount of money. But if they get $50 from you, $100, okay, that's not a lot of money. But they sent out 100,000 letters and 1,000 people responded with $100. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's be smart. It's your money. Protect it. Be very smart.
Andrew, I'm going to pop up another poll right now if it's all right with you.
Excellent. Go right ahead.
For the group.
Have you received phone calls like this or similar ones from the IRS or Microsoft or your grandchild?
IRS called me, well, the IRS called me the other day saying it was their third and final warning. And I was
Yes.
like, this is it. Like, I really thought, and that's when nobody calls. It's terrifying.
Good.
Mhm.
Well, 13% of you, thank God that you never got it. That's great. Yes, you got some of those, and most of the people, again, we're up at the 60 percentile, have
Yeah.
received multiple calls. So be very careful with the calls. Be very careful, because that's how they get to you, on your cell phone. If you don't know who's calling you, don't pick it up. If it's important, they'll leave a message. Plain and simple. Or don't say anything. If there's dead silence, it's a computer. Hang up. Great. Thank you for answering that. And here, Nikki, this one's just for you. The IRS the sheriff is right around the corner, and they're going to come and arrest you because you owe $9,000. And they're about to knock down your door, and you better send us this check right now. Oh my God. Right? You panicked as soon as you saw it.
Mm-hmm.
IRS sends nasty letters. They do not call you or send things on the internet. Okay? This happened in Hawaii. This poor guy, Ruben, healthy 68-year-old retiree, got the call, panicked, literally panicked. The police are coming over now. He got so upset he had a stroke.
Mm.
Oh my God, the AARP labels this the imposter scam.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when they pretend to be somebody else, they pretend to be a legitimate business, and they con you out of money. I've gotten this call. You know, be very, very careful. You tell them, thank you, they're on their way over, I'll bake cookies, and hang up the phone. Because I'll tell you right now, as a law enforcement officer, if we're coming to your house, first, we're not going to tell you. And second, you've done something really bad
Mm-hmm.
for us to be there. Okay? So please, we're not going to do that. Be very careful. Just on those same notes, never give a caller remote access to your computer. They're downloading everything on your computer. You've just opened up a virus. Be careful. Now, if you contact Microsoft, different story. And also, never call any number that's on the letter, that pops up on your computer, that pops up in a text message, never call that number. Do your research, make sure it's the correct number, okay? Because you'll be surprised that the numbers don't match. It's a scam. And legitimate companies, the sheriff mentioned this because it happened here. Legitimate companies will never ask you to pay for something with a gift card. Think about it. Do you pay your phone bill with a gift card, or your Walmart bill, or any bill over the electric company, anything, your credit card bill statement, gift cards? No. So any company asks for gift cards, it's a scam immediately. And one other thing that happened here in Flagler, check when you buy gift cards, check the back to make sure all those big numbers are either covered up, that they have to open it at the register. If it's already open, don't use it. Alert the management. And look at those numbers, if some of them don't have the covering, that there's something not over it. Somebody actually took the gift card cutouts, pasted it on those cards, and put it back on there. So when people bought them and they scanned that code, it went back to the original card. And as soon as it came up, they downloaded the money, and those cards that were activated were never activated. So be careful with gift cards. Buy them, give them to your grandchild, your niece, your nephew, your friend as a present, but do not pay bills with gift cards. Very important. The romance scam. For somebody who's out there looking for a company, or you get online and you're going on websites, and all of a sudden, this has happened, fraudsters will get a relationship with you online. And now you talk for days, weeks, even months sometimes. But you're going to talk to this person, and all of a sudden, you really know this person. Well, do you really? You've never met them? And then they will all of a sudden start asking for money. I want to come visit you, but I can't because they're always from a foreign country. I can't afford it. You send them some money for a plane ticket. Or you're really getting very close and they're ill and they need money for a surgery, and you send them money. It's, unfortunately, you never meet them, and they're conning you out of money. This guy, according to the U.S. attorney, scammed people out of $1 million for the romance scam. And officials said that one woman was so upset that she was victimized, so upset she took her own life. What a shame that is, okay? You're developing relationships with people halfway around the world. You know, we used to call them many years ago pen pals, remember? But now you can actually talk to them and usually see them. But they're going to send you pictures that maybe if you Skype, you can actually see them in person, okay? But if they never do that, there's something wrong with that. They're going to send you pictures, and usually it's not that person, okay? So be very careful who you communicate. And even if you think you trust these people, be very careful. Don't give personal information, and never send money. Once you send money, you're hooked. Be careful, all right? Other things, people like Chick-fil-A. I think Chick-fil-A just became the second most fast food restaurant behind McDonald's. I saw something online. Look at that. Chick-fil-A. Everyone likes Chick-fil-A. I want you to, they put this information out there. Please take our survey. You're getting receipts now to take our surveys. Okay, that's from the company. But this went out online. Take our survey, and you can claim a $500 gift card from Chick-fil-A. Wow, I can eat chicken sandwiches for 6 months with that one. And you have to add all the information. What's the information that you're adding? Personal information, names, date of birth. They may even get into social security numbers, addresses. It's not Chick-fil-A that's doing that. Please be careful. If it's too easy and too good to be true, it's too good to be true. Be careful, please. Bank statements. Check your bank statements. Because when I talked earlier about somebody got was billing me. Yes, that actually happened to me. We checked our billing statements, small amounts, $8, $9. And we didn't notice it on the billing statement. All of a sudden, my wife noticed. For a couple of months, we looked and said, hey, what is this? We did a little research. We never authorized that. And then they were billing us small amounts, because small amounts you won't notice. They didn't get a lot of money. They got under $50 before we were able to shut it down. But we paid attention to the bill statements, and it went over for a couple of months. You know, so it happens to everybody. That's why don't be ashamed that it happened to you. Just correct it so it doesn't happen again. But, you know, they only got, you know, 30, 40 bucks. But guess what? They got that probably from a few thousand people. Lots of money. So check your bank statements. And when you don't want to save them anymore, shred them. Cross shredder. Okay? Don't throw them in the garbage. Shred them so people can't look at it, because on that information is personal information. Or you're mailing a bill back, and what do you do the night before? You put it in the mailbox, put that big red flag up, and what's in that envelope? A check, personal information, right? And someone driving around at 2 o'clock in the morning are going to open up your mailbox and take that out and take it away. Because now they have your check with your check, how you sign it, things like that. So be careful when you're sending information. But any bills, anything with your name on it, anything with numbers on it, anything with those barcodes, okay? Guess what those barcodes mean? Has your information on it. Even that little insert that comes directly to you from a magazine, that barcode on it is your barcode, information. Shred those.
I'm going to pop a quick poll while you're going, Commander.
Excellent. Bring it on up. Do you shred all your bills, bank statements, and personal papers? Okay. I hope so. But that's important.
All right, I'm going to end it. There we go.
What do we got? Yes, 50, over half does. Thank you. And then 33% has done it before, but don't do it regularly. Get in the habit. You do it once, and it's the right thing to do, do it every time. Every single time when you want to get rid of those paper. Never. Come on, guys, you got to do it. Because that's where your personal information. Now, why do you do it? This is why. If you don't do it, it's what we call dumpster diving. Especially if you're in a big community where people dump in dumpsters. They throw your garbage in if you live with an HOA or condos, or in residential when they throw out the trash in dumpsters. They'll go through the dumpster on the trash at the curb and get all personal papers that you've thrown away with personal information. Please be careful. Shred them. This is why, because they can get personal information.
Quick question, Commander. Shredding companies to drop, is it safe to use shredding companies where you drop your stuff off?
Generally speaking, yes, because these companies have started up because of this problem. And they saw a niche and they jumped into it. We use a shredding company. So yes, if they're legitimate, and do your research, look them up, pros, cons, what kind of evals that they've got, evaluations that they've gotten, if people recommend them. If it's a shredding company and they've had history and they've lost stuff, maybe not, or they're 4 stars and people love them, then yes, they're credible, because they're a credible company and they base their business on this practice. Okay? And shred old credit cards, shred anything with those magnet strips on the back, Social Security cards, old ones or copies that you find. Shred them, please. Okay? How many out there still carry your Social Security card? Let's take a poll, take a look. How many of you still carry your Social Security card with you? Okay, that's old school. People do. What do we got? No. Thank you, 90%. Thank you. 11% of you, let's get on board. Do not carry your social security card, and I'll tell you why. You're carrying your social security card, and it's in your wallet, and you get your wallet stolen. And we're going to talk about things like that later on, but you get your wallet stolen, or accidentally you throw it away, and somebody finds it. But they get your wallet, and now they have your driver's license or your ID card and your social security card, your name, your date of birth, your address, a picture of you, how you sign your name, and your social security card number. You just bought a boat and you don't get to use it. Okay, think about it. Take your social security card with you when you need it. Then when you go home, put it in a safe and be done with it. Your doctor always looks for it. You know, you can write it down. They don't need a copy of it. Okay, they don't even need your social security number. Just give them the last four. Okay, and your social security number. That's why your Medicaid care cards now, the numbers have changed because they used to be your social security number. People have gotten their social security number compromised, their personal ID because of that. That's why there's new numbers. So it's important. Leave it at home. If you need it for job interviews or whatever, take it with you, show them, and then take it home. Excellent. Okay. Why are seniors targets? Okay. Why are you targets? There's reasons for that. Okay. You're more likely to have a nest egg. More likely to get the money. You know, you own your own home, maybe mortgage free. Okay, so you have the money, you have your home, you have excellent credit, and they feed on that. That's why you mail off those bills or mail off that thing thinking you don't want to hurt your credit, and it's really not you. All right? You're generally more polite and trusting than younger generations. And the younger generations now, they can't even talk to you face to face. They have to do it by text. Okay? I know a lot of you have kids and grandchildren, that's how you communicate. But you're more polite. You're going to talk to these people because that's the way it was. That's the way you were raised. That's the way you've always lived your life. Guess what? You don't know these people? You don't really need to be talking to them. Yes, thank you. No, thank you. I'm not interested. Click. I'm not interested. Click. Thank you very much. No, click. Be done with it. All right? Be careful. Less likely to report a fraud because if you get defrauded, you might be embarrassed. Don't be embarrassed. It happens. All right? But once it happens, report it. Report it. We need to know about it. It needs to go on file. If you want to reclaim some of the money with your bank or another company or anything, it has to be reported. They need a police report. So you have to call. And let us know about it. Because this all gets, all these ID thefts and things like that, the Secret Service stays on top of it. All these things get sent to the Secret Service. And when they see a pattern or something that they can get, now the federal government looks into it and tries to break up that fraudulent ring. So it's important that we need to know about it. And then this way, we know what's happening and we see what's happening and how it's happening. We do things like this to get out to the public to try to combat it. I'll put press releases and such. And you're not confident in remembering details. Who isn't? I mean, I forget things. Everybody forgets things. I mean, but that's not important. It's important that you report it. We get there, we talk to you, we get it down on paper and document it that it's happening and try to prevent it from happening and give you some education so it doesn't happen again. Okay? 1 out of 5 adults, 65 and older, have been a victim of a financial scam. That's shameful. 1 out of 5. All right, think about the sheer number that is. 79% by a family member. Be careful who you put your trust into. Okay, a lot of us, or a lot of, some of you, may have children that are taking care of your finances. Before my parents passed, my sister was taking care of their finances and their affairs. Okay, because they couldn't do it anymore. And stayed on top of it so they were protected. All right? So be careful. But be careful by a family member. Maybe have more than one. Look into it. someone that you trust. It just doesn't have to be the oldest child, because sometimes the oldest child is not the one you want to do it. You know, think about it. Whoever's the one that really can do it, do it. 49% by a caregiver. Careful, have you people in the home. All right, you get a trust relationship, but we're going to talk about that. People that have come in your home, or 47% by a friend or neighbor. Again, be careful who you put your trust into, because sometimes friends are just your friends so they can see what they can get out of you. So be careful. Be very careful who you put your trust into. Women are twice as likely to be targeted for financial abuse than men. Okay? I don't know. Maybe because the women take care of more of the finances. You're smarter. Okay? Most victims are between, okay, Nikki, like that one, right?
Yeah.
Most victims are between the ages of 80 and 89. All right? Most victims live alone and usually require help with health care or daily living needs or home maintenance. So you have somebody coming in because you can't fix that TV anymore, or you need help with cooking and cleaning. Okay, it happens to everybody, but be careful, those people that come into your home, a lot of them may not be trustworthy. Behaviors leading to victimization: becoming too friendly with an agent, a salesperson. Okay, you develop a parent-child relationship. All right, this guy at the bank, oh, he loves me, I trust him. Well, you know, maybe talk to a few different people at the bank. Or they're trying to sell you insurance, and you talk to this guy and he tells you what you want to hear. And now you have such a good relationship. Whatever he wants, I'm going to sign because he's a nice guy. Read your stuff, do your research. Don't make premium checks out to the agent, because if he represents the company, like for an investment purposes, say he represents, you know, John Smith Investing, and his name is Bill Johnson, you don't write a check to Bill Johnson, you write it to the company. By writing it to him, he can take it to his personal bank and mail it. He'll send you emails that you're doing great. Meanwhile, he took your money. Be very careful. Okay, signing blank forms. No one likes to read the small print. I get it. But you need to read the forms that you're signing. If you trust these people and you sign it, then you want the B policy because it's half the price. They're going to sign you up for A policy because they get a commission out of that. And they're going to get a better commission. And then 2 months when you figure it out, if you ever figure it out, oh, I'm sorry, there must have been a mistake. Let's correct that. And now you only pay this month. You've already paid, and he got his commission. So be careful. Do not sign blank forms. Allow to be rushed through the process. If you want to read the form, well, then you sit there and read it. All right? Do not sign it until you are done, till you are confident that it's good for you and that you believe in that this is the right thing to do. Then you sign it. Do not rush through the process. Believing a product or investment that seems too good to be true. We say it all the time. If it seems too good to be true, it usually is. Do your homework. And that's what's going out now for investments for the COVID-19. Invest in this company. We're just about to get the antidote. And guess what? Once we have it, this company is going to be $1 billion company. And you're going to get in on the ground floor. Now, be careful, please. All right? Some other things that you need to know about. When you get out from behind this computer, or you get out because the virus has done its course, and now we're getting the hell out of Dodge, and we're going to do things. All right? Be careful when you go out. You're still targets. Just because you're not on a computer or answering a phone, your people are watching. So be careful when you go out there. If you're going out sooner rather than later, okay, wear your mask, you know, social distancing. Let's keep that until this thing is you know, in the trash heap. Let's be smart about it. Let's do our duty and stay far apart, and let's wear masks if we're out. Let's protect ourselves, okay? Because seniors are a big target with the virus besides scammers. But back to what I was talking about, when you go out, please be very, very, very careful when you're out and about. In supermarkets, people work in pairs. One guy's going to keep you busy at the frozen food section, and you're looking and maybe you even ask for advice. And you talk to somebody, oh, and they want to help you. But look at the guy behind it. You're not paying attention. He's going into your pocketbook. All right? And you're not going to know that your wallet's gone until you go to checkout. And he's already out, and he's already spent $5,000 of your credit card online. You do it right from the car. So please be careful. Pay attention. Go out in a group if you can, and and always be aware of your surroundings. What we've noticed that's happened here in Flagler happened a couple times. I know a lot of you remember that movie, the Sting with Robert Redford. Great old movie, right? Classic movie where they used to do the stings out on the road. Well, it's coming back. We had one woman here that came by one of our thrift stores, Goodwill store, and this woman came up with a wallet. Did you lose this wallet? And it had a lot of cash in it. No, being honest, no, that's not mine. Another woman came up, which the other woman did not realize was her partner. I didn't see that. Oh my God, you got all this money. Yes. Where'd you get this money? Oh, boom. And they get you into conversation. And all of a sudden, yes, because I've just earned a lot of money by investing in Walmart. My attorney did this. Boom. Push came to shove. They started talking and talking. They hooked her, reeled her in. The woman ran home and brought these people that she doesn't know $10,000 in cash. And they went off to invest it for her. And you know what? Surprisingly, they never came back. She lost $10,000 in cash. That's starting to happen again. People are confronting you. You don't know these people. Don't engage in conversation, especially if you're by yourself. Make sure you're in a populated area. Go into the store where there's cameras, okay? Be very careful who you talk to on the road. If you don't know, if they start going, I've got a thing for you, or I'm illegal and I have a lotto card that just won, but I can't cash it because I'm not legal. Can you cash it for me? But you better give me money ahead of time so I know that you're not going to run off with it, and you give them money. That happens. That's a classic. And that happens all the time. Be careful. Be careful when you know about these people, when you're out and about. Pay attention to your surroundings. Look around you. See who's watching you. Please be very, very careful. Okay? This is our final, this is just our information from the Sheriff's Office. A non-emergency number. If you live in Flagler, please contact this non-emergency, or record in your cell phone or at home this non-emergency number. So if you think you see something suspicious, give us a call. That number, obviously 911. Learn your non-emergency numbers in your local area for your Sheriff's Office or Police Department, so you can contact them. This is our crime prevention number, my number. You can always reach out to me, even if you're not from Flagler, and I can answer questions if you think of it, tomorrow or later on. You can call me, that number. I will call you and give you questions. That's our website. Learn the community outreach or crime prevention offices in your location, your police department or sheriff's office. And so this way you can reach out to them and they can come to you and do stuff like this. We have a phone app. We have other apps. Please check us out. Look at us on Facebook, and we're on Twitter and all the others. But on Facebook, like us on Facebook. We put out videos for crime prevention. Some are cute, some are I'm so look for me. We're out there to get the point across that there are things out there that can harm you and try to take your money. So you can submit tips to us and look at our videos, because they all have important information like locking your car doors and your garage doors and how not to be scams. And we put stuff like this out all the time on our website, on our phone app, and definitely on Facebook. So like us on Facebook. Do we have any Anything else? Any other questions that I could answer while we're here?
Commander, I have one final question for the group. I'm going to launch it right now. Just a quick
Okay.
question just to wrap this
Yes,
up. And
learn about this.
while people are doing that, I wanted to share one of the questions. It's more of a comment. As
Okay.
I've heard of people are reading obituaries and breaking into the house during a funeral service.
Very well can happen.
Have you seen that?
No, but I've known about that basically my career. I know with Facebook, people put their life on Facebook, especially if you're going away. Don't do that. When you come back, say, hey, look at my pictures that I went when I was in Mexico or on my cruise.
Right.
Don't say I'm going on a cruise tomorrow and somebody knows who you are, can go to your house. We had right here in Flagler, someone went away on vacation and his neighbor knew he went away on vacation and the neighbor broke into his house. How awful is that? We caught him. Crime is low here in Flagler, very low. And we lock up a lot of people who commit the crimes. But, I mean, that's just downright dirty, you know? But we caught him. And so, like, if you live at home and you want to invest in cameras, do so. You know, keep yourself safe. But don't broadcast to the world what you're doing, all right? And especially things like that, you may, if you trust your neighbors, and they're really good people, and they're going to want to come to the funeral, well, maybe one of them will stay back to watch the house, you know, and then you come back to the house or go to some place, you know, or, yeah, my son is going to stay home. I want to come to the funeral, but my son's going to stay home and he's going to watch the house. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm going to share some results here. Good news.
Yes.
A little over 50% haven't, but that still leaves 50% that have. So
Yes. And look at that, 36% have, and 7% have been more than once. Okay, just because you've happened once and you think you've learned your lesson, it can happen again because these guys, and really you got to think about it, these guys are very good at talking and talking you out of money, talking you out of information, things like that, you know. So be very, very, very careful with that, and you know, be smart. Think about these things. It's your money. You want to keep it. You've earned it. Don't give it to these bad guys. They haven't earned it. Right? So pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to the information that you get. Do not trust the number that they give you. Do your research. You know, ask questions. And if you're not sure and you trust somebody, have them take a look. You know, or if you're in one of, I know in the Windsor properties, you know, the staff there that I've met at the one in Palm Coast, Nikki's people are fantastic. Ask them. Talk to the people at the staff. They'll steer you right. You know, they will bring it to everybody's attention, more than one, so everybody knows and they can help you, you know? So with that, I would like to thank everybody that tuned in. I do appreciate it. And thank, obviously, the Windsor and Legend for having me here. Kevin for keeping me going. I appreciate that. And Nikki for your participation. And Nikki,
so
the
much.
IRS is not around your corner.
Well, this was very useful for me. I have the kind of person I always think I won, and I always think I'm in trouble. So I'm like the perfect victim. So this is very, very
When in doubt, call me. And if anybody out there, when in doubt, call the sheriff's office. The deputy will help.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much. And thank you so much for everybody that attended. Thank you so much for your time today, Commander Lutz. It's always a good time. And I appreciate all the knowledge. Thank you.
Great. Thank you all.
I know it's hard to get out and tour right now, but we do wonderful virtual tours. So please go to legendseniorliving.com, check out all of our information, like us on Facebook, and we look forward to seeing everybody soon, either virtually or in real life. Thank you.